3D scanners aren't perfect. There's a lot of problems with them. They're all still like very early as far as like development of technology goes, and especially in like software. So I'm bracing myself for that.
Reaction Mochi.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Laser Source Podcast, the number one podcast if you like lasers. We've got a lot of lasers for you today. We've got extra lasers. We have more lasers than usual. Before we get into it, what's up to everybody in chat? Thanks for stopping by for tonight's live stream, which is, before I forget, brought to you by our sponsor, Johnson Plastics Plus. It is not too late to order some stuff for the holidays. If you need anything last minute, their shipping time is really fast. Usually I have anything that I order in 2 to 3 days max. Sometimes I get it in a day, depending on the warehouse that it's at. And they've got just like so much stuff. I have been actually taking orders lately, which is pretty crazy. To be doing again, it's like just like old times, and a lot of the stuff, because I haven't wanted to like do a full restock on the shop, I've been ordering like as people are asking for it, so I don't have the stock for taxes.
Stock, yeah.
So I'll be wild beard hair, gross. Imagine it. Look at this thing. So anyway, guys.
If you there's this thing they make called a beard brush, and you can just
not ever. Nope, I'd rather die.
Like fucking animal.
I'd rather die.
You look like something died on your face.
If you, that's fine. I'll accept that. If you guys need anything, make sure you go check it out. You get 15% off everything in their store. Pretty much. There are a few exceptions. Usually the like big equipment pieces and things like that. But for the most part, you can drop just about anything in their shop, in your store, and get 15% off with the code YLRZDF. That's YLRZDF. Make sure you use it. That's how we get credit for the sale. Every time you make a purchase from them at no cost to you, it really helps the channel out. And we sure do appreciate it. So yeah, and a cost savings. Exactly. So link for that down in the description. But that is enough of that. Thanks, JP Plus. We appreciate you guys. What do you fellas know about LiDAR?
I know that if you lie, you don't get Christmas presents from Santa.
Okay, so here's just, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to share my screen here really quick, because this is the easiest way to explain this without having to do any real work. So I'm going to throw this up on the stage. Here's our channel. Woo! And over here, I have a clip of a game called lidar.exe. If you're a gamer, make sure you check it out. It's really fun. But this is essentially how a LiDAR works. So it shoots lasers in like every direction. All right, I don't want you talking though. Well, I'm talking. It shoots lasers in like every direction and maps out the distance between the laser source and the objects that it's hitting in order to provide a map for a three-dimensional space. It's really cool.
Isn't that how like this Xbox camera worked back in the day?
Yeah, something like that.
I was gonna say this is how Batman worked in that one where they had Bane. You know? Oh yeah. Yeah,
I believe that the Xbox used infrared. But
was it? My bad. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. I don't know if it's lasers or not, to be honest. But I feel like it was in the infrared spectrum. This, I'm not sure what wavelength laser it's using. I actually haven't gotten a manual from the company yet. They did send it to me for free. At first I thought, so, okay, Rhiannon gets an email. This is the backstory here. I'll just let this roll so you guys can soak it in. This is a really cool game. At first I thought when they had reached out that they were offering me one of those like handheld ones you get on Amazon for like $300, right? Where it like has a couple cameras on it and it gives you like a rough scan and that's about it. So I agreed to it. I was like, whatever, I could probably use that for the 3D printer and like scan some jigs from CloudRay or something, you know? And that was going to be my use case for the video that I inevitably made about it to like uphold my end of the deal. And in an email that she sent me like a week ago, she was like, we're shipping out your package, just so you know, it's on the way. And, don't talk about the price yet because we're not settled on the price. We haven't really decided about what the price is going to be, but it's probably going to be under $3,000. And I was like, whoa. I was like, what did I just get sent in the mail? Like, that was kind of wild. So it showed up today, and I was still expecting like a regular optical, like 3D scanner, right? Like something with a bunch of cameras on it that would like scan a thing on my desk, just like a really nice one. And it had this huge globe, like this huge metallic globe on it, which is actually like the LiDAR, like shooter thing, because I'm not an expert in this. And so I did a little research, and I realized that what you guys are looking at on the screen, is essentially what I got today, which is pretty crazy. So you can take it into like a room or space, and it's going to project these laser beams around the room and give you like point data, like a point data map of the surfaces that it detects in the space. And that's kind of wild. So, hopefully that's a decent explanation. Again, if you guys are listening to this episode and you're not watching, just to kind of give you a quick description, it's like a laser source that shoots laser beams in a bunch of different directions and then maps out the distance from the laser source to any objects that are going to block the beam's path and reflect that light back to the source. So you end up with kind of almost like a constellation of dots that give you a like a mesh, right? So that's the basic super oversimplification of what we're talking about here. So that's enough of that.
It's like sonar. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. Hopefully the visual for those of you watching this episode, hopefully that helps a little bit. But
it's like Daredevil vision, but with lasers.
Yeah. And by the way,
but with lasers.
Questions that we got here,
let's just do them as they come up. Yeah.
So Engraved Dream says, how far can the one that you got scan? And like, is it like a room size, like 20 by 20, 10 by 10? Do you not know yet?
So yeah, I don't know. I'm going to be careful here because I don't know what's embargoed and what's not. I haven't really given away any identifying information yet. And I need to have a couple more conversations back and forth to find out what's expected of me before I get into details about exactly what came. You guys will hear about it. But in the ad that I saw, is like a demo ad reel that they showed me. Basically like a guy strapped it onto his bike underneath the handlebars and like rode his bike down the street, and it like mapped the street out.
Wow.
Like as he rode his bike, or at least that's what the ad implied. So,
yeah, and then Steven, the second comment I had seen was that the iPhone can do this, apparently.
I'm positive that this is going to do it better than an iPhone.
This isn't going to be like the handheld thing.
I feel like I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not an expert, but I feel like one of the key differentiations here with something like the LiDAR scanner is going to be the amount of work after the scan has been taken required to get usable geometry, right? That's and I'm sure the resolution is very good. It is meant to be a consumer device. It's not like a professional piece of like LiDAR scanning technology. So even at the about $3,000 price point, it is going to give nice results, but still consumer level results. And I think there's definitely, it's not always written in stone, but I think there's definitely you get what you pay for when it comes to tech, especially cutting edge shit like this. And I think there's promise. Of course, all of my judgment is reserved for an actual test. And I've been thinking so this was kind of my conundrum. I was like, what the hell am I going to do with this? Because my plan up until today, when I opened it, was to, again, scan some like fixtures, right? And then print them and be like, there it is, guys. If you want to do that, then you can buy one. And that was going to be the whole thing. And now I have like this really advanced piece of tech, and I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to proceed. One thing that was suggested to me that I really like the sound of, somebody said like scan a piece of architecture or something and turn that into a height map. which I thought would be really cool. So like if there was like, for instance, like a gargoyle on like a building in like the stonework, that you could hit with the LiDAR and then take that into something like Blender, right? And generate that grayscale height map in Blender, and then you could engrave the gargoyle. And I think that's a really cool idea. So I think that's the angle that I'm going to take it initially when I start kind of like working on this, and hopefully it pans out. Hopefully I don't fail as a user. That's my main concern, is that I'm just not going to be good enough at this stuff to let the product shine, and I'm going to get in the way of it doing its thing. But if I can avoid that, I think we'll have at the very least a cool story. 3D scanners aren't perfect. There's a lot of problems with them. They're all still like very early as far as like development of technology goes, and especially in like software. A lot of the reviews that I read about 3D scanners, the software is just very difficult and tedious to use. And so I'm bracing myself for that, but I'm really trying not to judge it, because I know that in the hands of the developers, right, like they're probably getting some awesome results. So it's just, there's going to be a very steep learning curve. It's going to be difficult. I understand that. But if I can pull something off, like how cool would that be to just like scan a face or something with LiDAR and then just like drop it on a coin? Because I can generate a 3D height map in Blender. I know how to do that. You know what I mean? So
my thought would be too kind of what Cubing said. So Bronson just said, I've got a buddy who's trying to start a business and he's using an expensive one to make 3D printed parts for old car parts. And so like they're, like Porsche, and I make parts for people who do these things, and I sell them to them for like 10 or 15 bucks, but they turn around and sell them for like 45 to people who are like remaking parts that just aren't made anymore. So when you can make something to spec that has those really small tolerances, like, because that's what we're talking about, is like things like a car part, not something like a gear or some type of mechanism piece. But like, I'm wondering too, like, could you do 3D printing? Like, so you know how you got your cool new resin printer? Like, I wonder if you could like print something that you actually know the dimensions of down to like the 10th of a centimeter or something like that, like get a millimeter or like more than that. So then you know what X is, and then measure it and see how close you can actually get it, and like see if you could recreate the file through their software. You know what I mean? I think that'd be really cool.
What's up, Anthony?
I just saw a video yesterday of a guy that was talking about how he is using his 3D printer and similar technology to reproduce a little part in El Camino doors that work door lock. And it's a common failure point, and they don't make these parts anymore. So he found one that was like pristine in basically new condition, and he scanned it and made a replication of it. Now he's selling the heck out of these things because people that have old El Caminos can't get into them, or are having a hard time because this piece breaks all the time. So
yeah. And again, that's kind of what makes this particular device interesting and challenging, is that like this was the mindset. You guys are thinking of all the things that I was thinking I was going to do with this when I was waiting for it to show up. And the LiDAR is just not at that scale. You know what I mean? Like the LiDAR is for big shit that takes up a lot of room in an open space. Okay. Yeah, like you could use the LiDAR to like scan a plane. You know what I mean? Not like a plane model. So like we're talking about like these really big scales. In the demo reel again that they had showed me, like they were doing like city streets with like the storefront signs and like the sidewalks, and like it would literally build the point data map, and then it would just like they'd render it out into a mesh, and then you would have like a map of the street. So things like topology maps, right? So I think there's some interesting use cases here for it. In capturing data that you would usually, I think, end up relying on like third-party sources for, like going to like some kind of map website and like taking a chunk out of it or whatever. Or another shot that they had in the ad, they put it on a drone. They put it on like a DJI Mavic, and like had the Mavic fly it around, You know, so
Somebody wants a height map of their farm or something.
yeah, something like that. Like and I just don't know. It's going to be really interesting to figure out, because I have no clue what I'm doing at all. And I even they didn't send me a manual. I got a pre-production unit too. That's another note about my review experience, is it's pre-production. It's releasing soon. They're close. So I think it's pretty close to what the final model is going to be, but it's not like a production line unit. It's a pre-production unit. So I didn't even get a manual. So I had to email them last night and ask them, like, hey, does a manual exist for this yet? Like, can I get something to read? Like, I'll sit and read a 50-page manual on this if I have to, because this kind of thing, it's worth it to me. But it's going to be hard. I'm ready. But it's gonna be tough. I feel like even what you guys are talking about, like reverse engineering on the best of days with the absolute best equipment, like reverse engineering is incredibly tedious and difficult, you know. And this is like that, but like really big. So
Yeah,
I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Martin was saying he did a coolant overflow part for a 94 Mustang with a combination of a blue light laser scanner and then 3D printing in PA6. So that's interesting.
Yeah, and 3D printing, of course, is like a very nice. 3D printing is a very interesting use case for 3D scanners, but I really am curious now that it has been brought up to me what I can do with this data with a laser, because I feel like we can do some pretty cool stuff once we get that kind of data into Lightburn. I think we're going to be able to really take advantage of some of Lightburn's faux 3D features to create something really nice.
Well, and so that was what I was thinking for two things. So one is what Engraved Dreams said, which is I wonder what the specs are on smaller details, like if you can scale down the size of the scan so that the same amount of points are scanning but across a smaller area. Mm-hmm. So that's a good point. And then,
so like you can scan a whole aircraft, but then scale it down to 3D,
right? So that you could print
a model of it,
like a baseball stadium that you can resin print. You know what I mean? Like that'd be some money. But then the other thing that I was thinking too is like, so let's talk about like if you're, so for example, you go work with your local utility company and you go to their power plant and they're asking you to like do a whole bunch of measurements for things, because sometimes you need tags. Sometimes you need to, like, they want you to buy a laser, like the handheld units that Alex has showed on the channel before, to come out and do things. And you need the different radii or diameters of things. That might be something cool too, to like just track it all, have it all in one spot and be able to zap it. And, you know, that might be worth it, because if you can get a job that's big enough, that's a really convenient piece of equipment to do all of that measuring in one shot, you know, and have it be in your hands. So that's a thought too.
Yeah, cool. I think that's about all I have to say about that. One other thing that for now, definitely for now. One other thing I wanted to just take a second and point out was the Make Army channel, which is my second channel. And so we uploaded our first video to it. It has 64 views as of today. And I uploaded the first video. It's overview making nickel acetate via electrolysis for electroplating applications. So ultimately, I invested in this setup very little money, mind you. It's a mason jar and a desktop power supply and some nickel. And it's very, very easy to do. But I invested in this setup because I really wanted to ultimately plate brass coins in nickel that I engrave, right? Yeah. Like deep engraving on to prevent corrosion. And it's a really cool video. So if you haven't seen it, I did spend quite a bit of time on it, and it just didn't fit into the Laser Everything umbrella. It was just outside of that. This was a chemistry lesson. We do have some like really cool slow-mo footage in there if you haven't seen it. And I just talk about like the setup.
Yeah, I like that. I liked it because it was like that style that you're doing. It's not it's like just quiet and you just read and learn.
Yeah.
I like
I was gonna say, spoiler alert, he doesn't talk about anything, but yeah, it's cool because like it's seeing like a totally different side of something that I've never really gotten into before, but
Well,
like,
and
it
the fact that
seems
it's so
like
accessible.
pretty
Yeah.
accessible, like compared to what I thought it was. Like I always thought it was just like a whole bunch of chemistry and you're making crazy amounts of like concoctions and stuff, but it seems a little bit more straightforward.
I'm really looking forward to what he actually makes with it. So,
Yeah.
Well, see, and that's the other thing. Like, I thought he was gonna do like in it, like basically coating it so that he could engrave it after. But hearing that he's gonna engrave stuff and then coat it makes a lot more sense because I was like, why wouldn't you just buy the coated coin? Like, so that makes sense. Oh, Alex is gone. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Some technical difficulties. Oh my goodness. So by the way, if you guys hear me like scraping and scratching, sorry, but I'm working on an order. Laura like was getting on to me the other day. She's like, you need to do more lasering on the channel, Matt. So I was like, okay. So this is the part of lasering that isn't really exciting. It's cleaning off your brass name tags that you make with your toothbrush and your 3-in-1 oil, getting high off the fumes. So that's really fun.
I thought you stepped in dog poop and were trying to clean it off your shoe.
Damn dogs. So what are you guys working on this week? What do you got?
glass ornaments.
Ooh, nice. How are those going?
They're going. They're going. I should probably do a live stream soon. The ones I've been doing, I can't share. So.
Oh, okay, I got you. They got like the addresses on them or something.
Yeah.
So can you tell them about the deal that you made though?
Yeah. So I'm working with a couple of realtors to do end of year gifts for houses that they closed on for their clients. And so they're basically like first Christmas in our new home ornaments.
Nice.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. So if you're working with a realtor like I am to find a house, or if you have realtors in your area, that's a potentially untapped thing in your area that you can see if it's something you can offer to them.
I was kind of bummed to find out that a lot of the realtors in our area don't really do much for closing gifts. Like when I bought my house, I got a succulent and like a bottle of champagne that was, like $10 at the grocery store or whatever. And that's kind of like out here for some reason. That's just kind of the thing, but I'm in a fairly rural area. So it's not like,
I feel like that's kind of like
a year of corn.
That's like the gift you can give when you don't have the means or the access to do something cooler.
Yeah. And I talked with a lady and I actually gave her a sign that I made that said something like, we said yes to the address or something along those lines. And I gave it to her and just kind of never really heard too much back. So,
yeah, I think so. I know that most realtors, in case you guys are trying to work with realtors and you don't know, most of the time they do have like a limit that they can write off. So $50 is the limit in most states.
Like that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a federal one or something, but some states have different laws and stuff like that. So like $40 to $50 is usually the part that they can write off. They can, and also their logo has to be on it to write it off somewhere. Otherwise,
it has to be tied to their marketing, right?
Right. So, and that's where the limiting comes in. Now they can buy them a gift out of their own pocket too. So that's the other thing. Like I've had a lady who basically bought a set of decanters for this guy. Like he had just gotten a divorce and he was buying it. Steven saying it's $50 across the board. There you go. And so that being said, though, the nice thing is they can do that really easily with Christmas ornaments. So, and like my guess, there you go. He's a realtor. So my suggestion would be to always get with them. And the nice thing too is if you can, try to go to their actual office. And so that like you can literally, I work with a guy who took all the stuff that I made him into his office and he sat them there and said, hey, here's this guy. He's taking orders until this time, email him a list with your CSV or your Excel spreadsheet, and then he'll give you pricing. And like, this is our pricing. So I kind of had like an office pricing for them because I said, hey, as long as we meet this, if we order this many, I got you. And so just one of those things. It was really easy for him, really easy for his crew. So yeah, for sure.
Maybe if you get tied in with somebody that does like higher end stuff, or maybe like leans a little bit more commercial, they might have a little bit more money to give up. Like if they're doing larger projects like apartment buildings or like condos or something.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
And then the other thing, what are you working on, Anthony? Anything?
What? Oh, me? I just, working on stuff. I doing a jean jacket deal for one of the local coffee shops. So
Interesting.
I tried with a restaurant to do some swag with the UV laser on like t-shirts and hoodies, and it was more or less an epic fail that ended up costing me some money. And so taking the things that I learned from that, now we're trying denim, which is a little bit more durable with different coffee shops. So I went down to a secondhand store and bought some jeans that were kind of like the same material and ran some tests on it, and they came out pretty good. So now I did my first test jacket tonight, and we'll see how that goes. And he just let me know this evening when I sent him the results off the jacket that he wants to do some glass ornaments too. So pretty stoked about that.
Nice.
Knocked out another cup order for my other coffee shop that I work with that does cups at the end of the year typically. So I'm staying busy. Not as busy as I'd like. Like for Small Business Saturday, I did a deal on some stocking tags because we have like a really nice historic downtown area, and I'm like on the edge of that. And so they do like a Small Business Saturday for all the small businesses downtown, and we all kind of like came up with our own little plans and whatnot. And I did stocking tags, and I had like 6 different designs that were already pre-cut, and people could come in and
that's
just
cool.
give me names with like 3 preset fonts. So I'm like, do you like 1, 2, or 3? They're like, I like 2. So I take 2, throw it on the tags and knock them out. And I did like, I don't know, probably like 60 or so, something like that. So it was a little bit of income and just kind of got some more people interested in and introduced to what I do, because I think I'm far enough off the main drag that I don't get a lot of traffic and people just don't know that I exist. So I'm getting a little bit more exposure through kind of working with the Chamber of Commerce and trying to like just kind of push myself a little bit harder than I had in the past to try and ensure that I have some longevity. So
Yeah. And that's a good thing to do, man. Like my big thing, I just avoided everybody this weekend. So like I didn't want to talk to anybody during any of these small business days because I got hammered with orders, which is a good thing. But basically, I had to tell a couple of people no too. So that's one of the things that we talk about every year is like learning when to tell people no. So I got to the point where, and I'm not trying to say like,
coming up.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to like say, oh, I'm making $1 million over here, because I'm not. But they're just projects that are tedious, like this, sitting here and making sure you get all the oil off. Because after you get the oil off, I have to find my box of magnets there. But basically, I have to apply the magnets to the back. So you really don't want to leave oil on these because it will slip. I mean, the adhesive goes away, right?
Yeah.
So that's one of those things where I've got to get them shiny. And then I also put them in a little bag because this is one of my, I would say, premium buyers, because he usually orders like at least 10 grand worth of stuff a year from me. So I put these all into little baggies, and it's like a whole thing. And so these things take time, and I'd rather do that and make sure that he gets a nice product versus like half-assing it and just getting it out the door. The other thing is, if you haven't talked to your schools yet and your coaches, literally there's the winter sports are winding down. Like I just got orders for trophies, and I'm hoping I can get to laser tonight while we're on the show using the CO2 Galvo. I was going to try to do some like Flexibrass gold. So I've already got these pre-cut because the nice thing is too, like when I make a post and again, using social media and the people who I did some stuff for one of the coaches last year, and now at that same school, I got a call from different coaches because they're like, hey, I use this guy. And they're like, who's that? But basically you can pre-cut these things if you order the same trophies. And so I got to do those tonight. So that's going to be fun. And then I got some Porsche parts that I got to work on. They're just some leather things for that guy who does the OEM products. And then I've got, oh God, something else. So I wrote it down. I don't know. It's over there. But I got to get all that done sometime tonight. So that's why I'm just happy to be like cleaning right now.
Yeah.
But
another factor too with figuring out like when your cutoff really needs to be before the holidays.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Shipping time. So if it's not a local pickup order, you're competing with Amazon and like all the other delivery drivers on the road and traffic and crazy people and USPS drivers that have had enough, and UPS and FedEx and et cetera, et cetera. So there's delays built in everywhere. You're not the only roadblock. You have to factor in that delivery time too.
Yeah, and that's
I got an order for tape from a guy from Alaska, and I thought it was Arkansas for some reason. So I was like setting up the shipping label today, and it said it was going to take 14 days to get to him. I was like, "Whoa, what in the world?" And yeah, I realized it was.
They have to use a puddle jumper plane to deliver it or something, probably.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
He's gonna be up there like this, like waiting for it to drop out of a like bush plane.
Santa's sleigh is gonna come down and ride it down the mountain for him.
He's gonna be like, ho ho ho! Oh wait, fuck this place.
But well, and that's one of the things actually. I don't know, Alex, can you bring up the video, or Kyle, like in a minute of Alex and I did a video about 3.5 months ago, I guess 4 months ago now. For Emily over at That Mom with a Laser, and we were just able to publish it on our channel, and it literally covers exactly what Kyle is talking about, where basically like how to be successful for your year. And that's one of the things that Alex knew all about, and he talked about was the shipping, and like Kyle said, knowing what date is going to be the end, right? Excuse me. But also like planning, ordering and purchasing them, developing the product. So on top of that, like then doing promotions and social media for it, and like literally having a timeline. So really anything that you're putting out at Christmas time shouldn't be something that you just bought and you made one sample and you're like, hey, I got 100 of these, come get them. And by the way, you totally can do that. You can. But how to find success, kind of like Anthony said, getting that longevity out of your business, but also letting people know, because there's so many times where I've done like a really cool project and then I didn't give people enough like wait time to get it. Like, like I'm sitting here making Christmas ornaments this week. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I should like show people those. And then, they've already bought all their Christmas ornaments. They're already done. Mm-hmm. Like women are smart. I am not. So like, just saying, like all the people who order nice things for people. So anyways, that's something, if we can look at that, that'd be cool. And then let's see a couple of things. So Laura had asked, what am I working on? Laura, I am cleaning these brass nameplates. So these are a big seller. Ooh, let's see if it'll actually catch it. Maybe. There it goes. So these are just brass nameplates like that you can purchase. They're like $1 a piece. I put the person's name on it and the logo, and then I center them up nice to the sides. So I basically put this thing here, this thing over here, center it, and it's got the same distance from the center of the name to the side. And so these I pay like $1 for, and I charge $7 or $8 a piece depending how many they buy. But you can see why they're getting their money's worth out of them, because I have to sit here and do all this. Let's see, smoke show. Oh, Kyle.
It helps if my mic isn't muted.
There you go.
So Smoke Show says, could we use a cheaper version of LiDAR to get the height of an object and Lightburn to have saved dimensions for an auto-eyed adjustment based upon preset focal distances? Hope that makes sense. So yes and no. The problem is you're relying on another essentially hardware item that needs to report data back to the computer with a controller that has no way of reporting that data back. Because the EasyCAD 2 controller inside the laser that talks to Lightburn has no way of giving it that data. Problem number 2 would be Lightburn would have to support that. So you're probably talking about just something that connects to USB separately. So now you're talking about 2 different USB devices, and then you would still need Lightburn to support it. It would have to be like not a niche thing, and you would probably have to twist somebody over at Lightburn's arm to get them to support that, because it's not like a direct laser thing. That's like an accessory that doesn't even connect to the laser directly.
Yeah.
But it sounds cool.
Who else would pay $100 to see a squirrel jump out of that tree at Alex right now?
Yes.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we could get Miranda to do that for like free.
Nice. In a squirrel costume. Sandy cheeks.
Jesus. All right, let's see. So, Engraved Dream says,
I was looking for
X-Tool-
something specific and I found it. Go ahead. Sorry.
Engraved Dream says X-Tool has a mapping feature for the Ultra using the camera and auto height adjustment. Was able to engrave some pumpkins using that feature when it first released. Yeah. And
okay, go ahead.
I was gonna say there are some things that you can purchase, like there are some auto height adjustments that people have for focusing that you can purchase, and it ties into the motor on your machine. So that
it's
is
like a
something-
standalone system, essentially.
Right. But it doesn't do it to the object itself. It does it to like the top of the object or wherever it's reporting to. So it wouldn't know like the curvature and diameter and all that kind of stuff. It would just go boop to a point, and then it will just adjust depending on the lens. So you can literally tell it this lens, and it will know that distance, and it'll do that. And Yuri's saying, isn't that how field techs work? It maps the item.
I don't know. I've never owned a field.
I don't know about that.
I know with field techs, you have to create a 3D image and then have it in their software. So I'm not sure if it creates the 3D image for you, but I know that you do have to have that 3D guide in their EasyCAD 3D in order to do it. So it's a good question. Someone send us a field tech. We'll let you know.
I dug this off my tree because I want to know if anybody knows where to find them. I've brought this up on the podcast multiple times. You guys are talking about ornaments. Y'all recognize this stuff right here?
Rosebud. Enamel?
No, not rosebud. It's brass. It's painted brass.
Your mom's brass.
It's literally raw brass. And every year I look for like blank brass ornaments because I feel like
easy
these
money
would be sick. And usually all I can find. What?
Send, cut, send. You could do a SVG of that and then send it to them, and they will cut that for you.
Yeah, but like,
I mean, they won't paint it, obviously. But
what do I do? Like, order like 100 of them? I feel like that would
no,
be
they
like,
can. They have like MOQs that are reasonable.
So they're like Alibaba, where you get like scaled pricing depending on your quantities, but they don't start at like the hundreds or thousands. It's like you could get a couple dozen.
Yeah.
I really like these. This is like a really old ornament that I've had for a really long time, and I feel like they would be awesome to like hang in the shop. And it's not something you see everywhere anymore. I feel like this is really outdated. Like people, this was like big in like the 80s and the 90s, and then they kind of went away. And I've looked online,
like vintage.
and what I can find online is usually like stamping blanks, but they're always like circles or squares, and they're stamping.
I was just thinking
ugly. They're rough, you know.
I was just thinking that. So I think the best option for something like that, if you wanted them in bulk to like either keep on hand or, sorry, my dog is being a menace. The best thing you could probably do is put in like an MOQ with a coin puncher from China. So a lot of the bulk coin makers in China will use a punching machine to punch coins out of sheet stock because it is far cheaper and more efficient than getting them CNC'd out or lathed or anything like that. And if they just have to keep like a 3 mil sheet of brass and send it through and get it punched, that's fairly efficient.
What they're like,
they would have to get a tooling. They would have to get a tooling punch made for it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that would cost, but I guess it would depend on what kind of numbers you would want to order in.
That sounds really involved.
Yeah. I mean,
I just want to go to a website and buy blank ornaments so that I can engrave them, you know, which I understand. Like,
dream.
that's, you know, that's not going to happen, but
you can get a quote on send, cut, send if you just like take a picture of that and like trace it in Lightburn, So
Yeah.
put it on like a piece of paper and trace it, and then you can submit that SVG to them, and without even talking to anybody or anything, it'll send you an estimate.
Yeah.
You just give it dimensions and like thickness and stuff like that, and it'll tell you straight up how much it would be.
Yeah. I mean, Kyle raises a good point too. This is like 32nd or like thinner. I mean, this could easily be sheared. It doesn't even have to be like laser or plasma cut. You know, they're so thin. Then they're super fragile. But yeah, I don't know. Obviously, it's too late this year, but it's my yearly time where I have to talk about brass ornaments and how I can't find them because I feel like I mention it every Christmas. So I don't know. Just a note I wanted to bring up while
we have some similar ones hidden away in our box of ornaments somewhere too.
Yeah, even like
I feel like that was big in the 90s and it fell off in the 2000s.
Yeah.
You mean the 1900s?
Let's bring it back.
Well, it was like, do you remember in like the 90s, everything old from like the 70s and the 80s was like gold? I feel like there was just like a ton of fucking gold shit and mirrors. Mirrors were huge. It was just everything was gold and a mirror.
Have you seen yourself? No, go look in the mirror room.
If they were really well off, they were gold mirrors.
A hotel I stayed in once had like brass, like polished mirror finished brass bed frames. Like that, you don't see that shit anymore because it's like tacky, but I don't know. I'm like nostalgic for it. I don't know.
Someone right now is looking around their house being like, tacky, you motherfucker.
Yeah. Or they're just like, oh.
Yeah. Go, Alex. Here at Laser Everything, we care about our people. Unless you got
Grave Dreams is saying lots of stuffy noses.
Oh, yeah.
Skiing back then.
Let's see.
Press the like button if you get the reference.
Here you go. Laura said, Alex, you and the family did a great job picking the tree. The kids look so happy choosing one.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm very happy with this tree. We've had as a family one other live tree, and we hated it by the time it was gone, as you do when you get a live tree. And we have an artificial tree, and it sucks because it was like one of the like $150 ones from Walmart. And I want a really nice one, but we obviously cannot afford that right now because they are crazy expensive for like nice artificial trees that actually look like trees. So we just were like, we need to get a live tree because last year we put the artificial tree up. This has nothing to do with lasers. But last year we put the artificial tree up and we could put like a third of our family ornaments on it. Like we just have too many because there's too many of us now.
Yeah.
And it's sad and the whole thing looks like weighed down, like it's going to snap in half. And I just didn't want to deal with it. So we went out and we got a nice, like real tree this year. It was $85, which Miranda thinks is absurd. And I think is fair. I think it's like a normal tree price, right? And I got the like blue fur. You ever get like, you've seen the like blue ones? They're like almost like
seen the boots with color. The fur.
The boots with the fur and the pin needles, the pine needles are like hypodermic needles on this thing. It's insane. Yeah. I cannot put freaking ornaments on it without just like jabbing myself 800 times. It was extremely painful putting this.
Gotta use gloves,
so
man.
I'm extra proud of it. Also, for those who are wondering, I am using incandescent lights on my tree because I'm not hipster, so there's no LEDs to be found over here, and I'm proud of that.
Sure, it makes you a hipster.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I think
I want my house
like LEDs.
I want my children to not wake up when my house burns down.
I'm going to pay for every watt of this electricity, and I'm going to.
The tree was $85, but the electricity was $1,030.
The LED ones don't look right, dude. They're like too bright, and they have a weird refresh rate. Have you ever like shaken the LED strips and they like jitter? You know, super weird. You know what I'm talking about?
Nope. No, I put that up and I never touch it again. So like that's it. Oh, by the way, Resin said, hey Alex, I found a website that sells those. Not sure about bulk. You gonna dish or what?
Yeah.
It's like she's just taunting you with it. She's like, hey, I found that thing you're too stupid to do. Like,
yeah.
And then like that's it. That's all I'm telling you.
Totally.
There was one more too back here. Oh, So this, right before the show, I told Alex he should talk about this, and he's like, eh. But I think like a few minutes of it would be good. The Squarespace, because Resin was talking about starting a website this year. Where the heck did her comment go? Well, she basically said, "Hey, I want to start a site, but I have no idea like where to start or like what to think." Here it is. She said, "I hope to start a site next year. I'm torn where to start, like website wise. There are so many options. I can talk about Shopify for a minute. I think it's a really good option. I think it's really easy to take your stuff and put it on the website. But the one thing that I think Alex and I would both tell you is that you need to have really good pictures for your website. Like that's the first thing. So like start taking good pictures, use all those different things, like all the different tools you can use. Like what's the thing that everybody uses now for their backgrounds that's AI generated? Like there's one
shot. I can't remember the name of that app.
Yeah. So there's a few apps for that, but like start getting things, like start doing that now so that when you get your website. And then the other thing too is categories, like know your categories that you're going to have. So are you going to do tumblers and cups? Are you going to have cutting boards like wood? Are you just going to go buy like different things? Anthony's got a website too, but I use Shopify. It's really easy. You can give people codes to get discounts. There's it keeps track of all your stuff. So you can actually, it does inventory for you. The cheapest version is now $40 a month though. So thinking about that, you're dropping $500 on a website that you're going to put a lot of time and effort into to make shine. And then if you do get Shopify, I highly suggest that you use Andrew from Andrew Farmer, who I've used for my website to help get me a whole bunch of people who just go on there. So get somebody who knows what they're doing to like design your homepage. I think Anthony did too. Mm-hmm. And it's just people just click on there and you get a lot of messages in your emails that people just want to know, like, and it's just like Facebook, except now they're coming straight to you. So there's no extra fluff and no BS, that kind of stuff. I think it's really nice too when I can hand people a business card and they can go to a website where at least they can find my communication information, if nothing else. So yeah, I think it's worth it. So $500 a year to just have something that makes you look professional and lets people buy. And then randomly, I'll just get big orders on there too. Like just completely random. You never know.
Another thing to consider too is, are you going to use an add-on something like Sakiki, where a customer could totally customize the face of a cup? So it limits the human interaction and back and forth needed to get something like that done. Or one of the other various add-ons that Shopify has. Or do you not need that kind of stuff for your workflow?
Yep. Laura mentioned the name of that app, by the way, was Photo Room. And she's really good with that. Like Laura's so good at those kind of things. I don't have the patience, or I'm not smart enough, or both.
Yeah, and if you're like me and Matt and you don't want to mess around with that stuff, you can go buy $2-3 floor tiles that have like contrasting textures and just set your stuff up on those and take pictures. It doesn't even have to be like overly complex, or some vinyl flooring planks for like a wood fixture to put the stuff on. Like there are ways to work around it, but definitely, and I think this is something we were just talking about on the Discord recently, is like if you're not getting with the times with a lot of this like AI revolution and stuff, then in a lot of cases you're kind of falling behind. So trying to at least familiarize yourself with it and use it to like its most base abilities, and then just kind of improve upon that over time, because there are people out there that are going to be like leaps and bounds ahead of you. And when you're buying and shopping for things, it's like the presentation of it is a huge part of like a buying decision. Like if a lot of people, they'll have that emotional response and then they'll buy based on that versus, the more sensible response. So
it's very true. Like that's what Alex said a long time ago on one of the videos, or even maybe the podcast, is it's just like, it's like when you see a hamburger on TV, your brain just goes like, oh, good. It's just animal instinct. So
you get that lizard brain invested in it.
That's why I can't watch cooking shows while I'm going to bed.
There you go. By the way,
find myself in the fridge staying awake.
These are those 3M magnets. So I think I've talked about these before, but if you don't have these yet, like definitely go on Amazon. I think we have them on the buying guide that you can click the link. These are great. So this is where you can take lots of different materials. And I think I've shown you guys this. Again, it's just so cheap and easy. Like it's a 3-inch by 1-inch piece of, oh my gosh, not duets. Thank you. Romark. And then you can do all kinds of stuff to make a bunch of money. So just think about how many of these you can get from a normal 12 by 18. So just saying, throwing it out there.
I'm throwing my hat in the ring. I don't use Shopify. We have a business that's centered around taking payments in person in a commercial-esque setting. And so Square works really, really great for us, not to be confused with Squarespace, which is a web host. Square is a transaction processing company like Stripe, right? But they offer like payment terminals and stuff. So I have their little payment terminal. We take orders and keep track of stock in our store, just like you would running any other commercial business. And then they also have Square Online. And the really nice thing about this setup is that it unifies my online inventory with my physical product inventory. So if I have X number of coasters or X number of, shot glasses left in stock, those numbers are going to agree between both of those things. And when I get stuff like reports, it includes sales from both. So this is the website. I built this all on my own. It's a what you see is what you get editor. And it was super easy to kind of build out. We've got a lot of big, beautiful pictures on it and easy contact forms, all that kind of stuff, including our online store. So the first few pages here talk about coming in to see us if you want to get like job shop stuff done. If you want to come in and visit us at the store, but you can also shop online with us. And this is where people are able to do customizations. The customization on my site is super simple. There is nothing like Zakiki where you're like overlaying your artwork right on the item or whatever. And it just says, hey, if you're looking for something more detailed or you have a specific request, reach out to us. It says that on every single listing, but they're on here. So all of this stock is actually reflecting what I physically have in my store when people come in to visit me. And that's really nice. While still keeping them separate. So I wanted to show you guys the front end, but then also we have the back end. So
shows the back end.
Yeah, this is the Square Online back end. So here you can see there's a website, click edit site, and you get, again, that what you see is what you get editor, and it's all very simple. So here's the page, and you just throw things into like a column over here and create different sections with banners and text and little like applets and things like that. And that's very, very easy to use. It's got tracking built in, things like that. And then if we go back a little bit further, this is Square Invoices, which we actually use for our project management. Now, the name Square Invoices makes it sound like for every single project you take on, you have to send someone an invoice via like email or something, but that's not the case. You can literally pull the invoice you've created up on the Square terminal and charge them at the cash register, just like any other sale, but for a project. So this is new. They have projects here, and I'm not affiliated with Square or anything. This is just what I use because it's what I use. We don't have any business relationship with them, so let me throw that out there. But here you can see we've got a couple of different projects that are in various, it's almost like a Kanban board, which is really cool. So you can track the different stages of the projects. It keeps track of your customers' information, their phone number, their email, if they have a shipping address, and you can edit all of that on the fly or create new projects for those customers. And then it lets you add attachments to the order. So if I scan anything like a fingerprint or a signature or a photo that they want engraved, I can attach those directly in this order, and it saves it in the order directory along with that customer, so that when they come back in because they're looking for repeat work or something new, we can reference work that we did for them previously, including a customer notes section. So nice. Yeah, and then the invoices that you generate are based off of these projects in the project list that you guys are looking at now. So you can reference those projects directly when sending invoices. And again, you have the option of sending those invoices via text, email, or by having the customer literally come in. If you have a Square terminal and a place of business where people are picking items up, and they can pay for the invoice right there on the terminal while they're standing in front of you.
That's why I put Vince up here. I'd said I use Square Terminal for shows and Square for credit card processing on the website. So
yeah, it's a very, very good, robust system.
Now,
and
I'm going to tie into that though. Shopify, I think, copied them, just so you guys know. But I think that, like Alex is saying, they're the original one who like did all the legwork on this. So if you want the group that came up with it, that's a good one. But Shopify now does have that too, where you can purchase, or actually I think they send it to you, like if you sign up for like a year or something like that, where you can do that on your thing. What's really cool is, like he said, if you go to a show and you sell the item while you're there, but your overall inventory is X, it will actually do that math for you and keep everything going. Which, if any of you have ever messed with an accountant at the end of the year and they're like, how many of these do you have? And you're like, I don't know. It starts to get a little hairy. So, nothing like a mad accountant when it's tax season. Always fun.
And
I've used that invoice function several times over the last couple months too, because like people will like text me or call me, like repeat customers, and like, hey, I want this, and then they want to just like have me drop it off or pick it up or mail it to them. And before I drop it in the mail, you can just shoot them an invoice, and you text it to them, and they pay it, and you get an instant notification, and then the money's there in your account the next day. So, I mean, Square's, I think, pretty prolific in like what most of us are involved in, like small business wise. Mm-hmm. And another function that I'm sure Alex will probably get into when we have more time to talk about it is like they have a lot of access to customer information. So like when you have repeat customers, you want to try and like reach out to previous customers, they have a lot of tools available, if I'm correct, to where you can reach out to them and do like marketing campaigns too, right, Alex?
Yeah, there's so many. Yeah, it is a CMS. There's so many systems that are built into it. My primary ones are Square Invoices, which is one of their like sub products, and Square Online, which is another one. They have Square Payroll. They have Square Marketing, where you can mass email and mass text, people that opt into your marketing campaigns. It's all kind of like built in, and it's not apps that are made by third-party developers. It's like all in-house development, which is really cool because it works really, really well. And when Square updates something, it doesn't break a bunch of stuff, so that's one of the reasons I like it. But I think the main reason that I choose to go with Square over something like Shopify is because of the hardware. Depending on how big you are, you may or may not care about hardware, but they have the hardware that you need to like run a retail operation if that's something that's important to you. And obviously this works seamlessly with everything else that we've talked about tonight. This is the point of sale that I use. It's the Square terminal. It's just like almost a phone screen, but it has a receipt printer built in. It takes chip cards. You can swipe. It's got tap to pay. It's really, really good. It's $300, which seems a little steep, but if you think about it like an Android phone, it's really not that bad. And it's kind of like an all-in-one. It charges via USB-C. So I really do. I like the complete package that they offer, where you get kind of like everything at once. I think out the door, probably Shopify ends up being a little cheaper than what I'm paying for my Square setup. I don't think it's a huge difference. But I do think Shopify ends up being a little bit cheaper. But for the options that you have and the flexibility for growth in the future, I definitely, I really appreciate the way that they've kind of laid out their products.
Yeah,
I haven't invested in like the terminals or anything, but I have the app on my MacBook, and then I've even done tap to pay on my iPhone with several customers. Like they can use their phone to pay me directly if they have Apple or Google Pay, or they can just tap their card on the sensor on my phone and it picks it right up through the RFID. And I haven't had any pushback or anybody like, I don't want to do that. Like if they pay with their card, they're used to tap to pay nowadays. So
I was going to say, a few years ago,
people don't even think twice. They're just like, oh, okay, I'll tap it on your phone. That's actually pretty cool. And it works and they're happy. So
yeah. And down there, Go Savvy Designs said, hey, Resin, I use Square terminals, but Wix for my website, and Square integrates really well. And so, that's one of those things that's really nice too, is like you can have a cheaper service on one end, but paying that little premium over here gets you the flexibility that Vince talked about, and it gives you just a lot of options, like Anthony said. So the other thing, and you guys tell me real quick, Alex, I mean, Kyle, Anthony, and Alex have kind of weighed in, but you guys can say it too. But like, I think it's worth talking about packaging. Like next week, that was going to be one of the things that I wanted to talk about, especially this time of year. So guys, tell us about your packages.
It only took 59 minutes for Matt to talk about his package.
I had to wait until the very end.
Yeah.
I had to hold it. My package, I mean.
Barely made it.
Yeah. But
I think about like upselling, or what do you? Are you talking about?
Wait, he's literally talking about packaging shit for the mail.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
Well, because here's the thing: there's a lot of people who are doing shipping, but I think that we really don't talk about that ever as a community. Like, I never really see it talked about, and people want to know, like, where do I get boxes for these weird items? Where do I get like this little stuff? So this to me is the kind of stuff that when it arrives in the mail. So I've got this that I'm sending out. So these are what I've been working on. But what happens is every employee gets 2, and to save it from getting all ripped apart and messed up with scratching, that I just use the magnets that attach to each other, and then I put them inside. Sorry, I did the measuring on this, and I literally got one that goes right to the end of it and folds down, and it's nice. And when I got there, like the manager actually sent me a message saying, "Hey, I really like the way you sent these in a tiny little plastic bag. That was smart, and I appreciated it." And so I was like, "Oh, sweet." And so I mean, to get an email about that, it's kind of weird. I did it just because I didn't want to have any shipping issues where they got like either separated, where they're like, "Hey, we didn't get 2 for Steven." And it's like, "Yeah, you did." So I know it helps me keep things organized and stuff like that. But just saying, I think it's worth talking about.
I'm shipping my pants right now.
I ship myself daily. One shipment of my JP Plus order, and their quality is awesome. Some of the items come in gift boxes. Yeah, see, and that's another thing that Kyle, Anthony, and I talked about after the show last week is glass ornaments. You're trying to deliver a premium product for it because this is going to be a gift. So do you spend the extra $1 or $2 and then upcharge and upsell like Anthony said, or do you include it in your cost at cost? Like, those are the kind of things I think people don't really talk about too often. So I don't know. You guys let us know in the comments after the show, like what you think, because we're already at 1 hour and 2 minutes.
No audio, Alex.
How about now?
Yep.
Okay, great. I do. Does somebody have the YouTube channel up? I do want to run a quick poll with the people that are here watching right now to get their feedback on something.
Kyle's all over that. He's our poll master.
Kyle loves the poll.
I'm not even trying to be funny or dirty. I really mean, like, he knows how to make that.
What do you want to do a poll for?
He'll get that.
I want to know, guys. So here's the thing. So I always come on here and I talk about a bunch of stuff that I'm going to do, and about half of it gets done. But this time I've done something. I've actually done something, and I want to know how you guys want to see it. So first, let me just talk about the thing, and then I'll give you the poll info there, Kyle. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen one more time. Yeah, Kyle wants my poll info. He knows. So here's my screen. Here's a bunch of assets that I shot, guys. So basically, Johnson Plastics Plus sent me a box of stuff, as they do. You guys are used to seeing those episodes from me. All of these clips up here, which are edited at this point, the top half anyway, are the unboxing. So it's literally me with an overhead camera, and I'm opening it up and showing you guys the materials. You guys are used to seeing that. That's all it is. It's very straightforward. The second half of the episode is actually Rhiannon and I making... Wow, that is so loud. It's Rhiannon and I making a project. It's like us actually making something out of all of those materials. And we made something really cool. Spoilers, I'll show you guys really quick. I'm super proud of this. It is I don't even want to say acrylic because we use like 5 different materials. I treated it like a chopped box where you get what you get, like the chopped basket from like the Cooking Network, and nice. You have to make something out of it. That was kind of like the game that I played with myself.
It's actually kind of cool.
And, yeah, and we made this Christmas tree, which I think is gorgeous. It came out really well. Why are you laughing?
Because I just thought of how you should open that video. It should be Rhiannon dressed up as the dude from Saw that's like, do you want to play a game?
Oh my god, dude.
And then it's just the box gets tossed at you.
Stupid. So yeah, we built this tree, and I'm really proud of it. And we show you every single step. We don't go super in depth, but we do pull up. Resin, why do you hate everything I make? We don't go super in depth, but we do go through every step. So here's my question. So now that you guys have seen that, that's your little teaser for the episode. Again, half edited. Here's what I want to know from you guys that are still here with me right now. Do you want me to publish the unboxing and then edit the project and publish the project? Or do you want me to include the project as part of the unboxing video? That's what I want to know. You guys get to vote on it right now. So Kyle's going to throw that up in a poll. I literally genuinely can't decide, because I feel like when I make it part of the unboxing, people don't get to the cool project part at the end. They click away or get bored or get distracted before they get to the actual build. Like, and I want people to see the build. The other side of that coin is that every time I post an unboxing, people leave comments after it's over, upset that I didn't do anything with the materials during the video. So that's kind of where I'm torn, and I don't know how you guys want me to do it. So I'm asking you right now, as kind of like our most devoted little gang of hobbits, like, what do you guys want me to do with that? I'm very curious about the answer. So.
No holding back. And then Go Savvy saying separate them but release it as part 1, then part 2 the next day. I like it.
If you guys are watching on mobile, leave full screen mode and scroll down, and you'll see an option to participate. And if you're on PC, you'll see an option below chat to participate. Chat.
It'll be a tight edit anyway. I think the way I have it right now, the actual unboxing portion of the video, in which we go through about 10 or 12 items from Johnson Plastics Plus, is about 4.5 minutes. So you guys will get a nice tight edit on that. It's certainly shorter than ones that we've done in the past. But yeah, I can understand where you're coming from if you want them to be separate, for sure. Which
while you're down there voting, you should hit the like button.
Yeah, do that, please.
Oh, hey, there you go.
Get subscribed if you haven't. Maybe hit the bell icon.
More montage of the unboxing and just dump it all together. So I think Resin's kind of on the all together.
That way, actually, I kind of like that too, because I think it'd be cool. If you're again, Jigsaw starts us off. And it's you have 30 minutes to make a cool ass project, and then it's he's just turning into a cool project.
We could do it literally Chopped, where it's the Chopped guy, and he's
that'd be so great.
In your basket, you'll find, and it's glittery laser
max. It's a green acrylic. Toss it out.
Flexibras.
Oh, that dude. See, yeah. Resin is on our speed here. The Eye of the Tiger for the montage. We're gonna need a montage.
Or maybe even if you unboxed something and then you show how you use that thing in the project, and then move to the next thing and unbox it, and then show how you use that in the project. And then you slowly see the box get unboxed and then the project kind of come together. I don't know.
So you want me to literally just shuffle the deck?
Yeah, just you take your unboxing video and then cut it into segments as you build that tree. You use the acrylic and you unbox the acrylic, show it, and then you show how you cut the acrylic and assembled it, and then you move on to the next thing. I don't know. It was just a thought.
That's a good idea, and I might do that next time with that in mind. I do like where you're going with that. Unfortunately, that is not the order that I built the tree in. Is not the order that it's unboxed in. It's not even remotely close. Right. So it would take a re-edit of the unboxing, which I don't want to do because that's already done. So, but next time, I like the idea though. I like where you're going with that.
Laura said, I say just grab the things and create something amazing as only you could.
I'm so happy with this tree, guys. Like, I got all the nice
Sure, man.
cameras out. Rhiannon's sitting there like holding the R6 over me while I'm like digging a drill into it. At one point, we take a bamboo coaster that we use as the base of the tree. That's a coaster, and I tried to cut through it, and I couldn't get all the way through it without like setting the thing on fire with the Mira. So I just stopped.
It's thick.
I just stopped halfway through, and I put a sanding bit on the end of a Dremel and dremeled out a slot, and then cured resin to hold the tree up in the base, and covered it with fake snow. It's a really clever project. I think you guys will really enjoy it.
Then I took out my LiDAR.
15 of you guys have voted, and that was 3 minutes ago. We posted this. We'll leave it till 5, and then we'll close out the show. But it looks like we're going to include it with the project. So I will take the suggestions that we saw in chat. I will try to keep the unboxing as short as possible while still being thorough. I do have some nitpicks about some of the material that they sent over. I have some problems with some of the stuff that they sent me this time. And I do want to make sure that I cover those so that you know what to be on the lookout for if you decide to order it. There's some great stuff in there. Don't get me wrong. But I do have some nitpicks as well. So I want to make sure
I have
cover
a question. I haven't gotten to play with the glitter acrylic yet because I got one of those boxes too. And I'm wondering, how did the laser deal with like the glitter inside? Like, did you see any weird
Didn't even give a shit. It's like it wasn't even there.
I figured when you got like 100 watts, I figured it's not a big deal. But at the same time, I've heard people who do diode when they get those semi-opaque.
Well, that's different because the glitter is reflecting visible light. Right, the glitter is reflecting visible light, and the diode's a visible light laser. So of course, that's what I was shooting the diode into a bunch of things that are designed to bounce that light away from it.
The reason I was bringing it up is that might be something to say in the video. You know, hey, if anybody's, because I know that's one of the things some of the people here have diodes. I just had somebody actually message me yesterday asking like, what's a good diode? Which, by the way, we did a Black Friday like sales last week. So if you missed that, that is in the comment section below. And I don't think we really focused on any of those styles of laser, but that they're on our website too. The ones that Alex and
the
Kyle
buying guide. Yeah, we've put a lot of time into the buying guide, Matt and I, and it's pretty sufficient. So I would definitely check that.
Yeah, Kyle's put, oh my God, everybody's put some time into that thing. So long story short, take a look there, but just be mindful of that kind of stuff too. So while we're some minutes here,
the additional time that we gave, it's even pushed even further in favor of include the project with the unboxing. So I think that's the way we'll go with it. You can go ahead and end the poll, Kyle. Thanks for your votes, guys. That makes me feel better about that choice. So I'm going to get to editing after the show is over, so that I can hopefully release that for you tomorrow. I'm not going to push it if it's not done, but that's my goal. I would really like to have it out to you guys. If I can get it done with like a thumbnail before like 11 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow, I will upload it. If not, I'll wait and we'll do it on Thursday. But it's a really fun episode. I think you guys will really like it. Yeah. One last time before we go, because we do have to wrap up. We're about 15 minutes past now. I just want to finish my sentence about the second channel and the new video that I put out, nickel plating. We don't even do nickel plating in it. We're just making the solution, and it's just a broad overview about how it works from like a technical perspective. If you guys haven't watched it, or you haven't subscribed, or you haven't given the thumbs up to the video, it's even more important than it is over here. At Laser Everything, we're always gonna, sit here and trudge along and continue to like Katamari ourselves new subs. It's just, we've reached that critical mass where we can do that. But the new channel is definitely not there. If you guys don't go and interact with that video, leave a comment, do something, no one new is ever going to find it. It's going to take a really, 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 really long time without your guys' help. So please go watch it. Let me know what you think of it. Let me know if you enjoyed learning science through a project that doesn't specifically have to do with lasers, and what other kind of things you'd like me to venture into. I have a lot of new equipment. We have heat presses. I have the 3D printer. I've got a bunch of electronics lab equipment that I want to talk about. I built a retro brighter. Do you guys know what a Retro Brighter is. It's a box with a mirror on all sides on the inside, filled with UV lights, and you've put tubs of hydrogen peroxide inside of it, and it unyellows plastic from like the 90s. So like all that yellow, like ABS from the 90s that used to be white and gray, it undoes that. I built it from scratch. And it's just sitting there. I haven't even turned the video on. Like I've not ever pointed a camera at the Retro Brighter, and I sat there and built it with my bare hands, and it's awesome. And I'd love to show you guys that kind of stuff. And it just doesn't fit here on Laser Everything. So if you care about that kind of stuff and you want to learn about some of those side projects and things that I am using in my business alongside my lasers to customize and restore and create, that is the channel where you're going to see it. It's going to be Make Army, which I named after our support network. So if you want to learn more about how you can support us, head over to lasereverything.net/support. We've got a ton of Make Army links over there if you want to sign up for the Patreon or the coffee. The Patreon's been booming lately. Thank you guys so much. Or if you need help with lasers, if you're looking for help with lasers and want to support us at the same time, the Laser Master Academy. It's a no-brainer. That's over at masters.lasereverything.net. Plans start at like $5 a month, and it funds everything we do here. We wouldn't be able to do this show or any of the other content that we do week after week without the supporters that we have over there. So thank you. I know all the people that are here live with us are dedicated long-term supporters, and we really do appreciate you. If you're looking, Gretch, for the link to the Make Army channel, I actually have it. It's double linked on my main channel's homepage. So if you just go to the Laser Everything channel page, if you scroll down a couple columns, it's like the third one is the video that I just put out. And then all the way at the bottom, we have links to all of our different channels on YouTube, and Make Army is the first one now. So there's two different ways for you to find it. If you just want to type it in the URL bar, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure it's youtube.com/@MakeArmyOfficial. That should get you there. So yeah, I'm just really excited about that. As you guys know, I'm always doing like 800 projects, and maybe like 6 of them will get done. But the 6 that I do get done, I think are going to be really exciting and cool. So I'm always excited to kind of share that with you. And I'm glad to hear you're excited about the Retro Brighter, dude. It's pretty sick. It's just a giant mirror-filled box that you blast things with UV with, and it's dope. So yeah, it's a good time. Thank you, Resin. Appreciate you. Thanks, everybody, for being here tonight with us live. Again, I really do love our live audience. I love hanging out with you guys every week. I can't wait to see you next Tuesday. If you're listening to this after the fact, thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. Let everybody else know that the content is good. And don't forget to subscribe here and at Make Army Official so that you get notified the next time we upload an episode. Is there anything else I have to plug? Go watch Anthony's channel, Beam It Up Laserworks. It's dope. There should be a link in the description for that in every episode that we publish. He's also on the channel's homepage down at the bottom where we have all the other channels listed. Yeah, you're down there. So if you're looking for Anthony's channel, go make sure you sub for that there too. Buy some Beam It Up laser tape. And I think that's all I've got. Anything else? We good?
Voting open today for the coin challenge.
They're really cool.
Word. Go vote on that. That's the 90s one, right?
Yeah, 90s pop culture.
Sick.
Yep.
And if you've done everything that I've told you to do already and you have nothing else to do, go to YouTube and type in Wham! Last Christmas 4K and look what a 4K 35 millimeter film restoration looks like in 2024, because that video is sick and I watch it every year. And that's it. I'm done talking. Thank you guys so much for being here. I love each and every one of you, and we will see you in the next one.
Bye.
Last Christmas.